so in today's video, we're going to be discussing the truth about the glamping business, because I feel like all of my research online, all of the YouTube people I follow who talk about glamping and how easy it is to get started and cheap it is to get started, I feel like all of that, they're missing a huge component on starting a glamping business, and that is doing it legally. I think a lot of these little small places, they just put like a tent in their backyard, a couple of them here and there on some land. They're not doing it legally. They're not getting the permission of the county or the city or whoever. Like they're just definitely, they're not, because I have been reaching out and scouring the entire US for land that a county will allow it, that's not going to break the bank, because a lot of it is not cheap. Most of the land, very expensive per acre. And the counties, they require lots of things from you. They require hefty permits. They require you to meet with engineers to make sure road access is available. And they also require you to have a well or some kind of water hookup or septic. And just establishing a well and building a bathroom and septic, that can run in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like at least building like a prefab bathroom that they just come with a septic tank. They build it underneath the prefab building with your bathrooms and stick it on the land, and it's completely run from hauled water, things like that. Those cost at least $50,000 minimum, and including the other types of things, it's so expensive. And if you're in like a desert arid area, a well's gonna be $40,000, $70,000 right there. So I just feel like that this stuff is not really being discussed or talked about in everything that I was looking up, because I've been researching since January, and I didn't start reaching out to counties and things like that until I got an investor who was interested. And then I thought, okay, this is something that I can move forward with and start doing, because I perceived it as like something that's, I knew it was going to have probably more issues going into it than what everyone was saying, but I didn't know it was going to be to this magnitude of trying to find land that is cheap enough and trying to find a county that's okay with it. Because I've found a place that has really nice cheap land, very, very, really, really rural, but the counties there, they don't want it. Like I talked to a real estate agent last week, and he told me, he was like, okay, there's this county that's just perfect. Like they don't even have building codes. They're not up to date on these things. Like it's just anything goes, wild, wild west, anything is okay. And so I reach out to them and start talking with them about my ideas and like what I want to do. And so they had told me like reach out to the people who like work with the people who help you supply water and figure out like your water plan. And I was like, okay, well this was kind of like my idea. So I was gonna build the glamping, and I kind of gave them the rundown of like how I was expecting to kind of build this business out, like where I was expecting it to go, like what kind of people I want to attract to come there. And I told them that my idea was to use a cistern, of course, because we're in the desert. So if you build a well, that's gonna be $70,000 possibly. So I told him, I'm a small investor, small business, not like a huge corporation. We don't have millions. So we're gonna try to do it this way. We're gonna have the cistern. Because I've seen that everyone has the hauled water, like water in the containers in any of these glamping sites that I've been seeing. And so I told him like I was gonna do that. I was gonna do a portable bathroom, because I like those better than just digging a hole. I don't like pit toilets. They're absolutely disgusting. They smell, so I did not want to go that route. And I don't think this county would allow that route. I think a lot of counties don't allow you to do that. And they told me, absolutely not. You have to have a well dug, and it has to be a commercial like grade, and you absolutely have to build a septic and bathroom. Like you cannot do portable toilets. And the person told me, like, if you do not want to comply by these regulations, then this is not the county for you to be building this type of business. I was like, whoa, okay, like I'm just asking questions. And so then I called another county and talked with them, and the lady seemed like she wanted to get me off the phone really quick. Like she was just, you know, she was like, hey, you need to talk to the water people. This is a number. There's a number of people who've been reaching out that want to get this passed. And basically it's going to come down to who has the most professional business plan, probably who has the most money, and who they like the most, whose plan they're going to approve for like a camping, or I'm not sure if the other people are going to do glamping, but at least campgrounds. So it just is like I've tried so hard for months and months, and it's like every time I move forward a little bit, I go back like 20 steps. And I just feel like a lot of the people are just not being honest about this type of business and how easy or cheap it is to get into it. I think there's a reason why a lot of huge corporations are getting into this business. There's a lot of money in it, but to do it right, you need a lot of money. And sadly, that seems to be true for most business ventures. Like a lot of small business investors, they really can't get in on the game. Like especially with camping, there's so much red tape and so many expensive things you have to try to get past just to build basic camping. Like that's absolutely ridiculous that you need that much money to just stick a tent on some land. And I mean, I know that in Joshua Tree, or actually I think it might be Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, one of those places. I mean, literally this huge corporation came in and they built a $118 million like Airstream park. That's outrageous. Like they would build that much. Like it took that much money to put our Airstreams. I mean, it's because they're going in and they're building a lot. They're not just building like 20 tents or 10 or Airstreams. They're putting like 50 Airstreams. Like they're doing, oh, Molly's moving around. They're putting like 50 Airstreams. Like my idea is to have maybe like 20 tents, because that's going to be enough so that the business can sustain itself and each year we can still operate and all the investors can be happy with their profit margin. And I would like to put maybe some geodesic domes, like maybe 6 of those or something. It just depends. I don't want to like overcrowd it. I want everyone to be kind of spread out. But like my idea, my concept is, I've not seen it used anywhere here in the US, or actually I've not seen my idea used anywhere in the world. I haven't really researched it extensively, but I just got the idea when I saw something similar in another country, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This is going to be absolutely amazing. So, but I don't want to put it in the business plan that I send to the city, because I don't want them to not approve my plan and someone else like take my idea and use it and me not be able to build what I'm trying to build just because they don't like me, because I don't have millions to put on the project. I'm just a small investor. I think we need better laws to help just small businesses get started, especially in this kind of thing, because camping should be cheap. I mean, people don't go, camping is not something you expect like a 5-star hotel or something like, I mean, I don't expect to go see the Hilton start building tents. I don't know why corporations are trying so heavily to cut into that market when it was a market that only smaller investors, or at least small companies, were operating with. I think it's kind of lousy. I don't know, I guess I'm just frustrated today because I've been trying to move this forward or push this forward for so long, and I finally felt like I was getting somewhere, just to feel like I just completely lost all that traction and all of that like positive growth I saw. It just is really annoying. So let me know in the comments down below your experience with glamping, or if you want to get into it, because I think we could move forward with it if I was able to secure more funding and get more investors involved. That might be helpful, because right now I'm looking for really crazy cheap land, like looking in areas that are so remote where the land is insanely cheap. And I think if we had a little bit more backing, I could maybe look in some areas that are more open to the idea, and maybe we could start out with more tents, or that way I bring more income right out with our first season. Or I could maybe start out with my idea, but I would need hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started with my full idea and plan. So I would need quite a few investors, and I would probably lose a lot of my cut of the business if I did it. So, because right now I'm thinking starting small, just 6 tents, that way it can sustain itself, and each year with the profits build more and more tents and not really take a cut, no way to really take any profit until we've kind of built it to a certain level to where we're pretty happy with it, or if we have to start taking a cut, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to work while I'm trying to actually, because we're literally building this ourselves. So I would eventually, I mean, I have some savings, but it's not like years worth of savings. Who has 5 years worth of savings where they don't have to work for 5 years? So I think I will definitely have to take at least enough to cover basic expenses, probably by second season. So but I was thinking of allocating some of the profits for building and then leaving some for the investors and all of us to at least get a portion, and just keep doing that each year. And I mean, by year 3 or 4, I should be able to have enough profit to build an actual like bathroom, septic, and all of those things, and maybe a well. But I really want to build my main idea, which is really cool, but it's going to be a lot of money. So that's why it probably won't be till like season 4 or 5 that I actually get to see my true idea come into completion. But it's going to be really, really cool. I'm like super excited about it. But I don't want to say anything because I don't want to ruin it and someone take my idea, because I'm a very creative person. I love working with construction and doing those types of things. Like I love being creative, and I want to build a space where it can really just like reconnect people with their imagination and like their wonder for something that they haven't seen before. I don't know. We'll see. But let me know in the comments down below if you have a glamping business, if it's legal, like how you were able to get your idea passed with the county, like what your business plan looked like that you submitted to them. I mean, I can make something look amazing. My business plan, I wrote a 3-year business plan for my investors, sent it to them. I thought it looked absolutely amazing, but I've never really written one for like this kind of setting. I don't know what they're looking for. Maybe my business plan is absolutely horrible, I don't know, but it would be nice to just work with someone. I mean, I did apply for the area. They have like a business, like a small business kind of association that meets with you probably through Zoom. I signed up for that, but it's been like over a week. No one reached out to me to set up an appointment. Like I really want to talk to somebody in the area about how to move business forward. And that's what the real estate agent told me too, because he's on some boards. He said the area is like really small, very remote, mostly farmers, and they rely on tourism. Like they're so small and they need more tourism. And they talk about that. On one side, they're like, we need more tourism. Like we need to bring more tourists into the area so we can make more money off of the taxes and like the businesses can thrive. But then he said on the other hand, they're trying to like roadblock any kind of tourist activity or anything that's going to bring more tourism into the area. They're like, oh no, like we don't want that, like my kind of business. They're like trying to red tape everything so that it stays like not really a viable tourist spot. Do you see Molly? She's so cute. Let's see. Oh yeah, y'all can see Molly. I put the thing. I usually am staring like up at the viewfinder thing, so I try to like put it down so that way I'm not just like staring at it, because it feels weird when you can see like a photo of like what's behind you up top and then you just see this black square, which is the actual like where it's recording. It's hard for me to just stare at that when I have like my whole entire room to be viewing, and like Molly, you're huffing and puffing. So cute. You're such a sweetie. Yes, you are. Ooh, look at this paw. She's so big. But yeah, I would just like to, if you have this kind of idea or if you've done this kind of business, I would just like to hear your thoughts and like how you got started and the kind of things that were very valuable to getting you up and running. And because I do want to start this, I would like to get this built by August if possible. I'd like to at least be open for maybe 2 months, and that way we can kind of get some profits going and we can use that to build a few more tents, because we're going to start out with 6. I think that's all we can afford. Absolutely, like that's stretching it, unless we can get more funding. So I think we're going to start with 6, but if we can be operational for a couple of months, we can get enough funds to maybe build 3 or 4 more, so we can start next spring, like the full season. We can have like 9 or 10 tents, and that would be absolutely amazing. and that would set us up for a great second and a half or whatever you want to call it, because technically that first season would only be a couple months. I don't really want to count that, but that would really set us up for a great second year, and maybe we can move things faster, because I mean it does come down to the funding of it, because I mean I have a lot of savings, but I don't want to spend all of my savings on right up front, because I don't know how long it's going to be before this business model I can pull money from it, and I have to have that money to survive and live off of, and also for emergencies. And it needs to at least be for a year, because right now we are still in pandemic times. Like, I'm applying for jobs that pay a nice living wage and offer benefits. I've been doing that. I was laid off from my job back in January. Like, I've been doing that and I haven't gotten any calls. So it's kind of like, if this business idea doesn't work, like, what could I possibly be doing? Because it doesn't look like it doesn't look like I have a lot of options, or I don't want to go back to like serving or doing something like that. I mean, I did that for most of my 20s. Like, I got my biochemistry degree and had to go serve and become a bartender or work retail. Like, it's absolutely asinine to put yourself through all of that and get a degree just to not have a job with you once you get out. And I was going to go to medical school, but medical school is very expensive. So I was like, no. In my brain, I have ADHD. I cannot study. It was a pain and a struggle for me to get my bachelor's in biochemistry. Like, I studied day and night just to retain half the information my peers and to get a lower grade than they did. Hey, no barking. She didn't like the maintenance man. So, I don't know. I would love to build it here where I am in Washington, because I'm looking all over the US, but land here is just so expensive. But I feel like Washington, the laws or the regulations here might be more favorable to this type of thing, because they are okay with tiny houses and unusual houses and things like that. So maybe they'll be open to it. I don't know. Maybe I'll look again here and start asking. Well, I need to contact the county, because I thought this one would be okay. I thought this place would be okay because it's very rural, but apparently they want tourism, but they really don't want tourism. They don't want tourism if they're not willing to work with you on these business ideas to help bring tourists in. Because my idea, where whoever chooses to allow me to create this thing, it's gonna put them on the map, because my idea is so super cool. Like, I've not seen it anywhere. I wish I could tell y'all my idea, but you're not gonna know it until I built it and it's going, and it's gonna be just whoa. It's gonna be really cool. I mean, you have to be a nature lover, actually. You have to be someone who likes cool experiences and nature to really like appreciate and think my idea is like super cool. Other people are probably gonna be like, meh, you know, if they're not into that kind of thing. But I love design, and I like something that's just unique, and I think it would be something absolutely amazing and so unique and cool. I wish I could tell y'all. I'm not. I'm horrible at keeping secrets. If I want to tell, if I'm like excited about something, like if I buy somebody like a gift, I want to tell them what I got them if I'm really excited about it. I don't like keeping secrets like that. It's just when you have such a cool idea, like on Facebook, I share so much stuff and everyone's like, why do you share so much stuff? Why is so much of your life on there? And it's like, it's nice to like share your thoughts or what you're going through like online. I feel like there's so many people who go through similar things or struggle with the same stuff, but no one's talking about it, or no one's like, I don't like talking about it in person, like that's kind of awkward, but posting it online is just, it kind of allows a separation, and it's just cool to just put it out there, just put it out into the world, like what's going on, and some people will respond or comment or like or whatever, just to get that kind of, I guess, just being seen or heard. Like that to me is just really important to have that, because a lot of times people don't get that, like especially if you're going through something that people are judgmental about. Like, it's hard to talk to somebody about it, and because I feel awkward, like if someone's like really sad or someone tells me that someone has died, I feel awkward, like I don't know what to say to them, so I don't want to like talk about my struggles to someone and make them just be like, I don't know what to say, like, okay, like I don't know. It's better to put it online, that way they can think about their response or not respond at all if they're feeling uncomfortable about it. But I don't know. What else would you like for me to talk about with this? Because I have been extensively researching this, and of course I'm not going to tell you my idea, but like any other, if you want help with anything else, like if you're looking into doing this type of business and you have ideas or you need help with something, just comment down below like what kind of videos you want me to work on in the future, because I do have a ton of like knowledge now at this point since I've been researching and reading so much, and I am a serial Google researcher. Like if I have an idea, I treated this like a job too. Like when I lost my job, I started doing this, and I would wake up every day and I would treat it like a job. I started out from the basics. I knew nothing, and I just started asking Google questions. What about this? What about that? I started researching like cost of every tiny little thing, anything that could go wrong, like all these types of things. But I thought it was going to be easier to get approval or to find land that you could do this kind of thing on, because to me it seems pretty basic. I mean, it's just camping. Like to me that's, it's not like I'm trying to build like a prison or something, or like something that's just like super controversial. I'm not trying to like bring in this giant warehouse or like build like some kind of factory or pollute the environment. Like I'm just simply making something that's completely eco-friendly, off-grid type of business, and it has so much controversy and so much red tape to even get started. I don't know, but let me know down below and I will make future videos based on this. We will see what we get. And I put my hair up into this very high ponytail. My friend got me this. It's really cute. I like it.